Camilla secretly plots to crown her son with a royal title, but Prince William uncovers the scheme before it can take root. What follows is explosive. He shuts her down, exposes her manipulation, and leaves her spiraling. The Queen's quiet plan turns into a full-blown royal meltdown. Camilla's secret proposal to crown her son. Clarence's house is quiet, dimly lit, and wrapped in that strange royal stillness that always seems to come before a storm. Inside the private sitting room, Camilla waits, posture stiff, pearls immaculate, hands folded too tightly in her lap. Tonight isn't casual. Tonight isn't routine. Tonight, she plans to reshape the monarchy itself. She asks Charles to sit with her. He does, slowly, tiredly, the weight of the crown heavy on his shoulders. He thinks this is another conversation about schedules or speeches, but Camilla's voice is unusually soft when she begins. "Darling, it's time Tom received proper recognition. He deserves an honorary title." Charles blinks, not shocked, just confused. Camilla continues before he can answer, layering her argument with practiced warmth. She frames it as modernizing the monarchy, as if giving her son a royal title is some progressive step toward unity. She speaks about legacy, about rewarding loyalty, about uplifting the Windsor name through inclusive reforms. But beneath the polished phrases sits a plan Charles cannot see, one that Camilla crafted with precision. She isn't just elevating Tom. She's cementing power, securing her influence long after Charles's reign ends. If Tom holds a title, she gains a second anchor within the institution, a safety net, a foothold, a future. Camilla plays to Charles's emotions, speaking gently about family, support, love. She touches his hand. She invokes memories of hardship. She paints Tom as a loyal son figure, someone who has stood by Charles without asking for anything. Except tonight, he is asking for something. Through her, Charles listens quietly. His expression never gives away his thoughts. His heart leans toward kindness, his mind toward tradition. The monarchy has rules carved in stone, and Camilla knows he's torn. But Charles doesn't say no. He doesn't say yes. Just silence. Long, heavy, suffocating silence. Camilla takes that silence as a window of opportunity. She believes hesitation is weakness. She believes she still has enough influence to push this through. She imagines walking into the Privy Council with quiet confidence, presenting the request as if Charles supports it. She imagines titles, announcements, cameras, applause. She imagines Tom standing tall beside her, no longer just her son, but a man recognized by the crown. She believes she is on the brink of victory. She believes she can outmaneuver tradition. She believes William will grumble, but accept it. She believes Anne will glare, but fall silent. What Camilla doesn't know is that her confidence is built on sand, because Charles's silence is not permission. It's fear. Fear of hurting her, fear of embarrassing her, fear of what happens next. And what happens next will be her humiliation of the century. As Camilla leaves the room, she lifts her chin high, convinced the monarchy is about to bend around her will. But inside the palace, forces are already moving. Whispers, warnings, raised eyebrows, the kind of quiet murmur that means one thing: Camilla has overstepped. And the crown is preparing to snap back. Public rejection. The Privy Council showdown. The Privy Council chamber smells of polished wood, old velvet, and centuries of tradition. Portraits of past monarchs line the walls, stone-faced kings and queens staring down with judgment. Camilla walks in dressed like she already won. Head high, smile graceful, pearls glowing under the chandelier. But beneath her calm exterior is adrenaline. This is her moment. She believes she's untouchable. Nobles whisper as she enters. Some bow politely. Others exchange cautious looks. They know a storm is coming, and storms inside the monarchy never end cleanly. Camilla takes her seat next to Charles. She squeezes his hand, signaling strength, hers, not his. Charles looks tired, withdrawn. He didn't sleep. He hasn't smiled in days. He knows what she's about to do, and he knows she expects him to support her. She stands. "Your Excellencies," she begins, her voice smooth. "I propose that Thomas Parker Bowles be granted an honorary royal title in recognition of his service and dedication to the crown." Whispers erupt instantly. Anne raises an eyebrow, sharp, amused, merciless. William's jaw tightens. Several council members exchange looks of disbelief. This is not tradition, not protocol, not acceptable. Camilla expects Charles to step in and validate her. She waits for it, waits for his gentle support, his reassuring nod. But Charles clears his throat. His voice is quiet, but final. "Tom is not of royal blood," he says. "I will not break tradition." The room goes silent. Dead silent. Camilla's smile freezes. Her breath catches. Her eyes widen, not with outrage, but shock. She wasn't prepared for this. Not from him. Not here. Anne smirks, victorious. A subtle, devastating smirk. A few nobles murmur, "She overreached." What was she thinking? Tom? A title? Impossible. Humiliation pours over Camilla like ice water. Her mind races. Her heart slams against her chest. She feels the burn of betrayal spreading through her like wildfire. Charles didn't warn her. He didn't pull her aside. He didn't soften the blow. He publicly shut her down. In front of the monarchy's power players. In front of her rivals. In front of William and Anne. It's not just rejection. It's exposure. It's a message: you don't control me. You don't control the crown. As the meeting ends, Camilla feels the stares. Pity, amusement, calculation. She walks out stiffly, her dignity cracking with every step. And somewhere between the chamber door and the hallway outside, something inside her snaps. She transforms from queen to mother, from diplomat to fighter. This isn't about honor anymore. It's about revenge. It's about Tom. It's about proving she still has teeth. The quiet war begins the moment she whispers under her breath, "You'll regret that, Charles. All of you will." And the palace has no idea what's coming next. Camilla's silent retaliation begins. Camilla doesn't scream. She doesn't throw anything. She doesn't storm through the palace like an unraveling queen from a tabloid headline. No, Camilla does something far more dangerous. She goes quiet. After the Privy Council humiliation, she returns to Clarence's house with a stillness that unsettles even her closest aides. She shuts the door, removes her pearls, and places them neatly on the table, a gesture that looks calm, but isn't. Inside her mind, a fuse has already been lit. Within hours, messages begin circulating through old media channels, sent in the kind of coded phrasing only veteran press puppeteers understand. Her longtime allies, editors, gossip columnists, soft power commentators receive a single memo. The Queen Consort is being sidelined. The institution is turning on her. Her son is being frozen out. It doesn't take long. By morning, headlines appear like smoke signals. Camilla forgotten by the monarchy? Tom Parker Bowles, the royal outcast. Charles shows coldness behind palace walls. Camilla's fingerprints are all over it. She crafts a narrative painting herself and Tom as victims inside their own palace. She frames William and Anne as jealous power brokers trying to erase her influence. She amplifies the idea that Charles is abandoning his wife under the pressure of tradition. It's subtle, but brilliant, and dangerous. Because while the public doesn't know the truth, Charles does. He reads the morning papers in stunned disbelief. He recognizes the writing style, the selective leaks, the familiar tone of Camilla's old allies. The realization hits hard. She's retaliating. Against him. Against the monarchy. For the first time, Charles feels something he never expected to feel toward Camilla. Fear. Not fear of her temper, not fear of scandal, fear of what she's willing to do. Behind the scenes, the palace begins to tremble. Staff whisper. Corridors carry tension like static. William senses it instantly. The press tone, the timing, the framing. Camilla hasn't just fired back. She has declared a public war without ever raising her voice. And the king she once protected now understands the truth. Camilla is no longer acting as queen consort. She's acting as a mother on a mission. And that makes her unpredictable. William steps in, the first counter-move. William has seen plenty of royal storms, but this one feels different. Colder, calculated, dripping with personal intent. The moment the first articles appear, William recognizes Camilla's influence with razor clarity. She's weaponizing the media, bending narratives, and shaping public sympathy before the palace can even breathe. She isn't just upset. She's rewriting the battlefield. He heads straight for Charles. The king sits alone in his private study, newspapers scattered across his desk like accusations. Charles looks older, smaller, worn down by the weight of Camilla's retaliation. William closes the door softly. She's turning this into a public narrative, he warns. You need to stop her before this spirals. Charles rubs his temples. I don't want a public fight. Then she'll win one, William replies. He isn't harsh, just brutally truthful. William knows how Camilla operates. He's watched her charm rooms, manipulate press angles, play victim when convenient, and warrior when necessary. He knows she will escalate, and he knows the monarchy cannot afford a PR war with its own queen. William proposes a strategy. Intercept, monitor, contain. No public statement, no confrontation, just quiet pressure. He assigns trusted aides to track leaks. He analyzes every article that pops up. He studies connections between Camilla's charity events and journalists suddenly emboldened to push anti-William or anti-Anne narratives. The patterns appear fast. Same reporters, same phrasing, same source network. It's coordinated, and William is done staying quiet. He and Charles begin a discreet alliance, one built not from affection, but necessity. They share information. They narrow suspects. They track financial irregularities tied to Camilla's public platform. Then William discovers the first alarming link. Camilla's charity network is tied to political influencers and editors quietly benefiting from her exclusive access. It's no longer a PR problem, it's a power problem. For William, this becomes personal in one specific moment. The moment he sees Camilla's attempt to weaponize Diana's memory through a leaked draft article meant to undermine his mother's legacy.
That's when the mask comes off.
Camilla is no longer fighting for Tom. She's fighting to control the monarchy. And William steps fully into the role he's been preparing for, defender of the crown, and the man who will end Camilla's quiet war. Charles orders the secret audit. Approximately 300 words. The tension inside Buckingham Palace reaches a point Charles can no longer ignore. The headlines, the whispers, the calculated timing. Camilla's fingerprints smear across every corner of the narrative, and the king knows it's not coincidence, it's strategy. Late one night, long after the palace has fallen silent, Charles summons his closest advisors. Only 3 men enter the private chamber at Windsor Castle, men who have served him loyally for decades and never leaked a word. Charles speaks quietly, but with an edge none of them have heard before. Audit the Queen's Outreach Fund. No announcements, no records, no staff involvement. They nod, understanding instantly this isn't a routine review. It's a search for truth, one Charles is afraid to face, but terrified to ignore. The team begins their work from a sealed, guarded room deep inside Windsor. No emails leave the chamber. No documents are photocopied. No phones are allowed. Everything is handwritten, verified, cross-checked. And within hours, the first red flags appear. Funds labeled as cultural initiatives lead directly to Tom Parker Bowles's events. Costs are inflated. Payments routed through suspicious intermediaries. Amounts withdrawn in cash with no explanation. Worse, transfers move from the outreach fund to political groups loosely tied to Camilla's inner circle. Charles's heart sinks. This isn't sloppy accounting. This is organized misuse. He stares at the ledgers and feels the deepest sting. The queen he defended for years, the woman he fought to protect, may be using her crown to build power outside the monarchy. Charles closes the folder. He knows what comes next. And he knows he must face it, even if it breaks him. Camilla hits back, harder than before. Approximately 300 words. When Camilla learns about the secret audit, her mask shatters behind closed doors. Rage surges through her, not at the audit itself, but at the betrayal behind it. Charles, the one man she believed would always shield her, now questioning her, investigating her, doubting her. Her fury becomes strategy. She accelerates her media campaign, calling in long-dormant alliances from her old days of press manipulation. Overnight, new stories explode. King Charles emotionally distant, Camilla silenced by palace traditionalists. Insiders claim Tom Parker Bowles unfairly targeted. The headlines twist sympathy toward her and suspicion toward the monarchy itself. But Camilla goes further. She begins leaking fragments of private moments. Charles's frustrations, William's firmness, Anne's coldness, all twisted into narratives that paint her as the suffering heroine trapped in a brutal institution. Her staff, terrified, follow orders without objection. Then she crosses the line. Royal media investigators intercept a draft article intended for publication, one designed to subtly undercut Princess Diana's memory, framing her as emotionally fragile and, historically, overrated. William sees it, and that's the moment the war becomes personal. Camilla is no longer protecting her son. She's attacking William's legacy. She's exploiting Diana's name for leverage. William's patience ends. The quiet conflict becomes open strategy. The crown moves into defense mode, and Camilla has no idea how close she is to losing everything. The audit results, and the trap is set. Approximately 300 words. The audit team works through the night, cross-checking every receipt, every transfer, every approval. By dawn, the truth is undeniable and catastrophic. They've uncovered everything: forged invoices, double billing, payments to shell companies, cultural grants funneled straight into private pockets. Camilla's Queen's Outreach Fund isn't a charity anymore. It's a shadow network. Friends of Camilla, some wealthy, some obscure, received tens of thousands labeled as public events. Meanwhile, Tom's culinary showcases appear again and again, disguised as national outreach dinners. Then the most damning file surfaces: £75,000 transferred just days before an anti-William article erupted in the press. A direct line between Camilla's money and the smear campaign aimed at the future king. The auditors don't speak. They don't need to. The evidence is explosive. William reads the files in silence. Charles's hands tremble as he flips through them. He doesn't cry, but the disappointment in his eyes carries a weight no crown can hide. "We must confront her," William says. Charles hesitates, not because he doubts the evidence, but because he still loves her. Then William's voice hardens. "This is sabotage, Father. This is treason to the crown." The words hang heavy in the room. For the first time, Charles accepts what he has been avoiding.
Camilla isn't acting like a queen.
She's acting like someone trying to seize power her own way. A trap must be set. Controlled, silent, final. And William will lead it. The quiet punishment. Camilla cut from power. The confrontation doesn't happen in a grand hall. No announcements. No formal summons. Charles summons only 5 people into a private, undocumented council meeting. He sits at the head of the table, face carved with exhaustion. William stands behind him, silent but unmovable. Camilla arrives unaware of the storm waiting for her. Charles doesn't raise his voice. The audit is complete. Those 4 words freeze Camilla in place. Charles lists the findings one by one: the misused funds, the forged paperwork, the disguised payments to Tom, the political links. Every detail lands like a blade. Camilla's face drains of color. She tries to deny, then deflect, then soften the blame, but the evidence piles too high. William watches her closely, expression unreadable. Then Charles delivers the punishment. Her charities are removed from her control, her budget access revoked, her event invitations canceled, her influence erased. And it all happens in silence. No press release, no headlines, just cold royal procedure. To the world, she is still queen. Inside the palace, she is now powerless. Tom's projects lose funding by sunset. Investors withdraw. His social circle thins as people distance themselves from scandal. Camilla walks out of the council room stiffly, her heels echoing down the corridor like funeral bells. She asked for a crown for her son. Instead, she's losing her own. The confrontation at Buckingham. Camilla's breakdown. Camilla doesn't knock. She storms into Charles's office like a thunderclap, cheeks flushed, eyes wild, breath shaking. The door slams behind her, echoing through the marble corridors of Buckingham Palace. Charles looks up, startled, but not surprised. "You stabbed me in the back!" she shouts. "You humiliated my son! You turned my family into suspects!" Her voice cracks, not from weakness, but from rage born of humiliation. She paces, hands trembling, hair falling out of place. Every step dripping with betrayal. All the calm, all the poise, all the queenly restraint she built over decades. Gone. Charles tries to speak, but she cuts him off with a trembling finger. "You let William destroy everything I built. You betrayed me in front of your advisors. You ripped my power away without warning. And Tom is being punished for being my son." Her voice breaks. This isn't a queen talking anymore. This is a mother who feels cornered. Charles stands slowly, heartbreak etched across his face. "Camilla, you forced my hand." She laughs, cold, sharp, wounded. "Don't you dare blame this on me." Her eyes burn with tears she refuses to let fall. "You made me your enemy, Charles." Charles's reply is soft, devastating. "That happened long ago, Camilla. The moment you chose to fight the crown." She freezes. The silence is suffocating. Then she turns, chin lifted, eyes blazing, and walks out without another word. The marriage survives in name, but the bond between them dies in that room. Fallout and silence, the queen with no crown. Clarence's house doesn't just fall quiet, it dies. The walls, once buzzing with staff, ringing phones and constant movement, now sit frozen in time. Chairs remain empty, desks untouched, corridors echo with nothing but the hum of old radiators. The silence feels deliberate, punishing, surgical. Camilla's staff receives new instructions from palace security, not from her. No engagements, no appearances, no travel, no public-facing duties, not even ceremonial visits, not even charity check-ins, not even the simple photo ops she used to rely on. Her schedule, once a battlefield of meetings, rehearsals, appearances, speeches, is now a blank page, not postponed, not rescheduled, just erased. Every project she nurtured, marked under review, every partnership she maintained, suddenly unavailable. Every reporter she once whispered to, no longer answering calls. Camilla expected punishment. What she didn't expect was disappearance. This isn't suspension. This is extermination of influence, the royal version of wiping someone from the map without saying a word. Tom falls even harder. One rumor, one poisonous whisper about royal misuse of influence, spreads through London like wildfire. Overnight, his name becomes radioactive. His cooking events are cancelled. His restaurant partnerships quietly pull out, terrified of being connected to scandal. Sponsors disappear into thin air. PR teams refuse his calls. His inbox fills with apologies that don't mean sorry, just fear. He walks into meetings to find empty chairs. He reaches out to friends who suddenly aren't in London. He realizes too late that proximity to Camilla was a blessing, and now a curse. For the first time in his life, Tom Parker Bowles understands the true cost of his mother's choices, a cost he never asked to pay. Camilla stands at the window, watching London through fogged glass. Her reflection looks unfamiliar, older, smaller, stripped of every layer she fought to earn. She barely sleeps. She barely speaks. The palace she clawed her way into now feels like a cage built of her own ambition. Her mind drifts through memories she buried years ago, the cold stares at royal events, the whispers of homewrecker, the shadow of Diana stretching long across every room. The years she spent trying to prove she belonged to the family, to the title, to the country. She remembers the day she became queen consort. The pride, the relief, the feeling that she finally stepped out of Diana's ghost, only to realize it never truly left. Now, she is a queen with no crown, a title on paper, a void in practice. Everything that made her powerful has been methodically removed.
But beneath the exhaustion, beneath the panic, beneath the humiliation,
Something else flickers. Not surrender, not guilt, not regret. Defiance. She may be cornered and she may be wounded. She may be stripped down to the bone. But she is not finished. In the shadows of Clarence House, as midnight settles over London, a single vow hardens inside her like stone. They took my power. Now I'll take theirs. The war isn't over. It's simply moving underground. Camilla loses power, allies, and control as William dismantles every part of her secret campaign. Her son's future collapses. Her influence evaporates, and the crown stands firmly behind William. The palace moves forward without her, but she isn't finished. In the shadows, her anger grows, and the next battle is already forming.